Hi dear students, as promised I am here again with presenting an update on the advanced life support in the face of COVID. This was recently published in September 2020 Indian Journal of Pediatrics by Dr. Tiwari et al. And let's see what it is about. This is not just important for your upcoming theory exams, this can be a potential OSCE. And above all that, I think you should keep in mind these commandments when you are resuscitating a patient. So let's see what it is all about. So why was the need for a revised advanced life support? Because even though there was always a risk for healthcare worker, when you are working in the ICU or emergency department, there is no way you can go without a cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And that is a highly aerosol generating procedure which increases or adds to the risk of already existing COVID risk. Hence, IAP, Indian Academy of Pediatrics, has come with 10 recommendations or 10 commandments to safeguard ourselves from catching COVID when you are doing a cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And this is how I remember it, and this is easier for me. So let's see what the 10 commandments are. So first you need to identify who needs resuscitation, correct? So that remains same. So once you know who needs resuscitation, then who is going to resuscitate, that is team identification. And before you rush into actual process of giving a CPR, you need to protect yourself. So rather than the usual CAB format, P is added before it, which means protection. Protect yourself before doing the resuscitation. So resuscitation is mainly what? Airway and cardiovascular, right? So for airway, you need to secure the airway somehow. And if you are doing an intubation, how are you going to do an intubation? And once intubation is done, how are you going to attach the patient to a ventilator? These three are regarding the airway. So once these are happening, simultaneously a cardiopulmonary resuscitation or chest compressions will happen, correct? So if it is a non-shockable rhythm, a cardiac compression will continue. If it is a shockable rhythm, then defibrillation will be given, and this will go on front and back depending upon a shockable or a non-shockable rhythm. And meanwhile, you will look at causes that could have caused this cardiac arrest and you will try to correct it. So there are two possible outcomes. One, the patient has a return of spontaneous circulation. So in that case, you will start the patient on vasoactive drugs. Second, the patient is not having a return of spontaneous circulation, ROSC, return of spontaneous circulation. So if there is no ROSC, then you need to decide how long you are going to continue the resuscitation. So these are all about cardiovascular system, and these are the 10 commandments. If you remember this, it will be enough for you to recall and apply it when you are actually resuscitating a patient and writing theory or your OSCE. I think this can be definitely asked in your PAL section of your practicals. So you need to identify the team, you need to protect yourself before going the CAB resuscitation route, secure the airway, introduce ET tube in a safe manner and attach the patient to a ventilator. Shockable rhythm will be defibrillation, non-shockable rhythm cardiac compression, correct what caused the cardiac arrest in the first place. The patient returns, you will add vasoactive drugs. If not returning, then you need to decide how long you are going to continue the resuscitation. So let's see each step one by one. This is a very, very important slide, or no, okay, picture. Okay, you get the point, right? So these steps are important. So take a screenshot, whichever is comfortable for you. So team identification. So if somebody is going to require resuscitation, you need to identify the team. So there will be only 3 personnel, only 3 people. Okay, one will be taking care of airway, and that person will also act as a leader. The second person will be for cardiac compression, and the third person will be for medication and defibrillation if it's not an automated defibrillator. Even for automatic, you need to apply something to the patient, correct? And compressor and the medication person will switch with each other if prolonged compressions are required. So only these 3 people will be there in the room, okay? And no healthcare worker more than 60 years will be a team person for resuscitation, only less than 60 years. So, 3 people less than 60 years. What about others? Somebody who is recording, somebody who counsels the parents, they will stay outside the room and they will counsel the parents, or they will counsel the family members. Family members, preferably a remote way of viewing is advised rather than in the room resuscitation. Okay. So, this is team identification. What about PCAB? P is protect yourself first. Okay. So, in case of a in-hospital cardiac arrest, IHCA is in-hospital cardiac arrest. You are doing resuscitation in a COVID area, wear a full PPE, the full regalia. Okay. If it's a non-COVID area, still treat the patient as potential COVID and try to wear a full PPE, or if that is not possible or not feasible, at least do double gloving, eye gear and a N95 mask. Okay. Den should be there minimum. A double glove, eye gear and N95 mask. If it's a out of hospital cardiac arrest, then whatever your mask you are wearing, that mask should be there, and if you have an extra mask, put it on the patient. Okay, unconscious, yes, I understand, but put it on the patient and then continue your resuscitation. So, P part is complete, you have protected yourself. What about C, A and B? C, before compression, put the patient within an aerosol box, okay, and then start compressions. Aerosol box, it can be a drape or even a mask on the patient so that the patient does not generate droplets. Understood? A, airway, I will talk about it in a minute. Breathing wise, try not to do any mouth to mouth or mouth to mask resuscitation. That is not advised at all. Okay. Ideally, intubate and connect to a ventilator or at least a bag and mask, but never a mouth to mouth or mouth to mask. Understood? So, this is about PCAB. Next, airway. See, airway you can secure by means of a bag and mask ventilation or ET or laryngeal mask airway. LMA is laryngeal mask airway. ET is endotracheal tube. BMV is bag and mask ventilation. This is usually in a out of hospital cardiac arrest, correct? So, whichever method you use, connect to a viral filter or HME with a viral filter. Understood? If you are using a bag and mask, it should have a tight seal and a viral filter attached to it. So, ET is what we do in hospital, correct? So, what are you going to do with that? Airway insertion, ideally do using a video laryngoscope or a laryngeal mask airway or a direct laryngoscope. All of these methods can be used. A ET should preferably be cuffed, okay, and stop the compression while inserting the ET tube. Attach a viral filter at the end of ET tube. See, if this is the ET tube, here you will attach the viral filter and then attach it to ventilator or your bag and mask, whichever, okay, but attach to a viral filter. And after you have placed an endotracheal tube, it is our usual procedure to confirm by auscultating, you will auscultate in both axilla, you will auscultate in the front, you will make sure it's not in the stomach. So, rather than doing that, confirm it with a EtCO2 monitor, end-tidal carbon dioxide monitor or chest rise rather than auscultation, okay, and try to use closed suction rather than open suction. So, this is all about airway insertion. Once you have inserted an airway, you are going to connect to a ventilator as soon as possible with a viral filter. And once you have connected, you can continue your chest compressions. Your ventilator will be set at 12 to 20 breaths per minute for children and 10 to 12 breaths per minute for adolescents, while the chest compression is continuing manually or with a mechanical machine at 100 to 120 per minute. So, now you have taken care of the airway. What about your CPR? CPR, supine position, yes, you are going to put in an aerosol box and then do your resuscitation. If the patient is already prone on a prone ventilation, then you can do a prone CPR. Your positioning of your hand will be just below the subscapular line between T7 to T10 in midline, and you will do compressions at the rate of 100 to 120 per minute. Okay, so prone CPR. prone CPR T7 to T10 in midline. Okay, you can identify this area just below the subscapular line. Defibrillator preferably automated, if not automated then manual, and disposable is preferred. Disposable dose attenuated automated defibrillator is preferred, okay, compared to your manual defibrillator. Identifying reversible causes during a cardiac arrest. You have H's and T's, right? Hypothermia, your hydrogen ion, then hyperkalemia and all that. T, you have tension, pneumothorax, toxins, tamponade, etc. So add one more extra H in hypomagnesemia. Okay, hypomagnesemia is important cause of cardiac arrest or bradycardia in COVID patients, and there is definitely extra risk if the patient is already on azithromycin or hydroxychloroquine. So remember this as one of the causes in addition to the other H's and T's. What about vasoactive medications? So once a patient has a return of spontaneous circulation, give early vasoactive medication rather than continuing to resuscitate the patient with fluid. You will end up overloading the patient, and that is not advised. Okay, so early vasoactive medication. Suppose the patient is not having a return of spontaneous circulation, when do you stop? That depends on the hospital policy, the morbidity of the patient, and the possibility of an intact survival. So these are all the 10 commandments. There is also this algorithm. We will just run through it fast. Okay, this paper is easily downloadable. All of you, I recommend that you go download and read it. It is not just enough if you stick to your books. You should also, read other articles, read journals. Only then you will know what is actually out there. Okay, so yeah, so you have a patient who is unresponsive. You will verify scene safety and protect yourself. Okay, IPC is infection protection control measures. Okay, so otherwise rest of the step is same. Assess the risk of COVID-19 transmission is you are going to treat every patient as a potential COVID patient. The patient is unresponsive, then activate the emergency response team and limit the team composition. This we discussed. Only 3 people, all should be less than 60. Okay. So breathing, pulse, simultaneously you will assess. If it is normal, then recovery position and wait for help to arrive. If it is no normal breathing and the patient has a pulse, then secure the airway and rescue breathing. Okay, because breathing is the problem. If pulse is there and it is less than 60, then you will start compression. So compression only CPR with airway shield preferable. Secure airway and use viral filter and bag and mask ventilation with viral filter and tight seal. High quality CPR and defibrillation use if necessary. Then depending upon rhythm, if it is shockable, then you give shock. If it is non-shockable, you will continue CPR and continue, it will go in a cycle, regular assessment, reassessment, evaluate and so on and so forth. The patient is having a cardiac arrest. You will start with CPR with a airway shield protection, then secure the airway with a viral filter. Okay, you are already protected. Then you are doing a compression, only CPR. Then you are securing airway and breathing, connecting to a ventilator preferably. Then again the checking will go like this. If it is a shockable rhythms are what? Ventricular fibrillation and pulseless ventricular tachycardia. Then you will give a shock. Then you will continue CPR and you don't have to do a pulse check. CPR for 2 minutes. Then check rhythm. If it is shockable rhythm, then again you will go one shock. If it is a non-shockable rhythm, then you will continue CPR without a shock, without a defibrillation. The non-shockable rhythms are pulseless activity, electrical activity and asystole. Okay, and advanced airway if it is not already present, and epinephrine will be given every 3 to 5 minutes. If the patient has reverted with a return of spontaneous circulation, vasoactive drugs has to be given. Okay. Then shockable rhythm, once again shock, resume CPR, advanced airway if not given, epinephrine can be given, and then again the cycle goes on and on and on. You will look for correctable causes, okay, at every point in if the patient is not responding. I think this is about your 10 commandments the need for resuscitation in your COVID patient, and how do you protect yourself from getting the disease. Okay, so I am ending with this screen so that you have ability to take a screenshot. Please take notes. I think this is very important. All the best for your exams. If you have any more doubts, you can ping me personally or you can put in a comment. I'll definitely respond to you. Thank you guys for listening to me patiently. Share this among your friends so we can all learn pediatrics together.